In this video, we will define the word interdependence. Interdependence is a word you will hear in social studies and in science. The meaning is very similar, but in this video, we will focus on the meaning of interdependence in science and the study of ecosystems. To understand the word interdependence, we have to understand ecosystems. Ecosystems are the areas where living and non-living things interact with each other and their environment in many different ways. Ecosystems survive without the help of products or other sources because the living and non-living things in the ecosystem only need each other to survive. To review, there are many different types of relationships between living and non-living things. Relationships can be independent or dependent. Remember, if organisms are living in different ecosystems, they have an independent relationship. They are not impacting one another and can live separately. Organisms in the same ecosystem have a dependent relationship. They interact with one another in some way. One type of dependent relationship is the predator-prey relationship. One animal is the predator and eats the other animal. The predator depends on the prey to survive. You will learn more about both types of relationships in future lessons. This video introduces interdependence. Interdependence is a compound word. That means that it is one big word that is made up of two smaller words. You can find the meaning of the word interdependence by looking at the smaller words within it. The first part of the word is inter. Inter means between. Anytime you see a word with the prefix of inter, you know that it means between. For example, an interstate is a road that is between two states. The second part of the word is dependence. Dependence means to need or rely on something. To remember this, think of how you cannot drive, so you depend on your bus driver to drive you to school. After you find the meanings of the parts of the compound word, you can put the word back together to find the definition. We can put inter, or between, together with dependence, or the need to rely on something. Then say it all together for an understanding of the meaning of the word. Interdependence, the dependence between two things. Or, when two things need or rely on each other. This is the definition you should remember for our new word interdependence. Interdependence is when living and non-living things depend on one another to survive. An example of interdependence is if your dog provides you with love and happiness, and you provide your dog with food and walks, then your relationship with your dog is one of interdependence. This is another example of interdependence. This alligator invites the bird into his mouth to clean his teeth, keeping him free from infection. The bird eats what it cleans from the alligator's teeth. You will see that there is a lot of interdependence between living and non-living things in an ecosystem. Living and non-living things use each other for food, shelter and protection, support, and transportation. Let's practice understanding the term interdependence while we read a passage. Pause the video now to read the passage on this slide. In this passage, two specific relationships, symbiosis and competition, are introduced. These will be discussed in future videos. Both of these relationships are part of the interdependence of an ecosystem, because they are how living and non-living things depend on one another to survive. Thank you for watching our video about interdependence. Stay tuned for future videos about other relationships in ecosystems.